Good evening, YouTube. This is Johnny. Time to make a video. I don't really have to make a video. This is a Thursday night here in Southwest Michigan. It is 6:17 in the evening on December the 13th, and it's a Thursday night, and I thought I would do like a Friday reads, but because tomorrow night my wife goes back to work and I'd be alone here in nighttime hours. Tonight my wife is over at the hospital having the Christmas dinner, special dinner for all the nurses and staff. So I thought I'd just make a video just to make a video, not because I have to. I'm not under any kind of pressure or time schedule. I just feel like making a video and just saying hi. That's about it. As far as what I've been reading, I suppose most of my time I'm spent up inside my head, and I always feel kind of exhausted and drained and kind of just out of focus. But I've been reading in the mornings primarily this book I got in the mail last week, An Ocean of Light, Contemplation, Transformation, and Liberation by Laird. It's the only thing I can really get into. I can't get into anything else in the mornings, and I'm almost done with this. I thought about reading the other books that I showed you. This is the third of his books. I showed you his other books, Into the Silent Land, and his second book was A Sunlight Absence. But I don't know. I thought I might just read St. John of the Cross. I was looking on my online diary of Crooked Fingers, and I was reading back in 2002. And I was reading St. John of the Cross, quoting him extensively throughout my online diary. And today I put a quote of St. John of the Cross in my online diary, a quote that I read the other day in a video here in YouTube. So I've been reading this in the mornings, and last night I read a lot of the William H. Gaddis Reader. I'm really enjoying this. As I said, this is probably the best thing I've read all year. I just really enjoy William H. Gaddis Reader. And I'm trying to finish these three novels. Moonglow by Michael Chabon. I read a little bit of this yesterday and today. You know, I could finish this in I already got, how much I got left in here? I got that many pages, and I'd be done. And I'm almost just got a few pages left in Richard Ford's novella, Let Me Be Frank With You. And today I've been reading the short stories here, stories so far of Deborah Eisenberg. I really enjoy these short stories, and I just wanted to read. I was reading one and I stopped, and I finished that today and started another short story in this volume. So that's what I've been reading primarily as I drift through my days. Yeah, I don't know why I feel the way I do. I think this preoccupation with feelings is a modern disease. I'm sure for thousands of years, men and women didn't have the luxury to be introverted and always examining how they feel. They just had to go out there and survive. Go out there and try to find something to eat each day, or find some clean water, or find some shelter, or protect themselves from wild beasts, or invading armies or plagues. And here I sit around inside this house It's a very comfortable house, warm, I'm well fed, I'm clothed, and I have the luxury to wallow in my feelings. But I don't think I'm a slave to my feelings. I mean, I know that they're just vapor, they're just here and they're gone. And try to stay as balanced as I can, not freak out. And there's certain things that I do every day to make sure I don't freak out, like I don't go anywhere or do anything. I write in my diary, and I make videos now for YouTube, and I've always been a reader. It's like I get these questions, well, how many hours a day do you read? Well, I'm always reading something. As I said, I'm a Christian. A Christian is always reading the Bible, or he ought to be. And if he's not reading the Bible, he's reading devotional books. If he's a serious Christian, he's studying the Bible, so he's reading books like commentaries and biblical studies and Old Testament theology and practical books, books on contemplation, books on how to overcome depression, things like that. So a Christian is a reader. It's just the way it is. I mean, so, and now that I've been retired since, I don't know how many years. Well, I was going back in 2002, as I said in my online diary, Crooked Fingers. And even though I was working and I came home exhausted, I was still reading novels. I was really surprised how many novels I had been reading in the year 2002. And it wasn't as much as I do now. Now I read not only novels, but I read biographies and essays, literary criticism, I read memoirs, I read all kinds of things. But, so yeah, so life goes by. Tomorrow's a Friday. Usually I could do Friday reads, but tomorrow, as you all know, I volunteer at our local library, used bookstore, the Book Nook. The bookstore is a very small little room. It's probably about as big as it probably holds around 500, 600 books. And it's called the Book Nook, and I'll be there from 10 to 1. And yeah, I put some books aside last week to ask, finding out how much they cost me. They're all biographies. I was thinking this evening, I'm buying so many biographies that I don't get around to reading them. So why do I keep buying more biographies? Yeah. But see, that's once again, if I start examining my own life, there are so many inconsistencies and absurdities that if I was just sensible, I wouldn't buy any more books. I just read what I have, and the money that is not used in buying books, just keep to pay off the rest of our mortgage or support something. I don't know. So yeah, my wife is at the Christmas dinner at the hospital, and I was going to today I read Richard Ford, Let There Be Frank With You. I read Moonglow by Chabon. I read short stories. I read An Ocean of Light. And I could read William H. Gass Reader. I might watch professional football tonight. It's the Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs. But I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I didn't sleep well last night. My wife coughed all night, and every time she coughed, I woke up, and she got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife gets up, she goes to bed really early and gets up really early, and then she takes a nap in the afternoons. So, and I'm a very light sleeper. I mean, I'm hardly ever really in a deep sleep. I'm kind of like half awake and half asleep most of the time when I'm laying in bed at night. My wife says I have sleep apnea, something like that. But yeah, so I have a used book coming in the mail, some novel. Like I said, I have books set aside at the Book Nook, and hopefully I'll find out how much I'm going to be charged for these 4 biographies. I think it's a biography on Joseph Conrad, Charles Darwin, James Fillmore Cooper, some French impressionistic painter, I can't remember. Maybe something else came in during the week that I don't know about. So I went to a thrift store today and I got 4 books. I'm not going to show those. 2 of the books I had in our library, and I'm taking them to the Book Nook tomorrow. And 2 I'm going to keep. One was a novel, and one was a bunch of essays on the Cold War, the history of the Cold War in American history, relations with Russia and the United States during the Cold War. I think we are still in the Cold War. I don't know if we've ever really gotten out of the Cold War, especially with this tension with Russia and the United States right now. I do wonder sometimes if we will be at war with China and Russia. I don't know. I can see that the way the world is. I mean, I don't know. But we never had a time in history where we are able to destroy one another with just pushing a couple of buttons. And we have the ability to launch weapons of massive destruction in just a matter of just 1 little second. So I don't know. But maybe, hopefully, that the Lord will come soon. That's not an excuse not to seek world peace or to be good stewards of nature. But yeah, there's never going to be peace on earth. Men are always going to be at war with one another. Greed, hungry for power, egomania, thirsting for blood. It's always going to be in man until the Lord brings in the eternal kingdom of glory. So like I said, I'm just sitting here, thought I'd make a video, share some thoughts, tell you what I'm reading, tell you my state of being, and tell you I thank you for the comments. One thing, people, I don't make videos. I'm not here to promote products or promote anything. I'm just here to talk about books. You know, I do promote good Christian books, good solid literature, but sometimes I get comments. People want me to do surveys or go to some site, and I'm not going to do that. Also, I'm not here to, I've been a Christian going on 49 years. I'm not going to convert to some Eastern religion. I'm a very traditional family person, so I'm not going to take up some kind of radical sexual ethic or morality. I'm not going to, I'm deeply in love with the Lord Jesus Christ. I believe the Bible to be the Word of God. And so I'm not going to just, I've been walking with the Lord going on 50 years, and once you taste His grace and His mercy and His love, when you experience that in some little degree, that Christianity is just not some kind of head trip. It's a relationship with the living God. And so sometimes I get these comments and people direct me to other websites or YouTube channels promoting what I consider to be heretical doctrines and false religions or bowing down to false gods. I'm not going to do it. So you're just wasting your time. I'm just going to keep seeking the Lord until He calls me home, calls me into the eternal state of glory. And so, yeah. So I hope you had a good week, that you have a good weekend, and I'll just sign off. And yeah, so bye.